I paid off her $68,000 debt. 2 weeks later, she said, I don't owe you my best years just because you helped. So I froze the joint account, took back the keys, and left a note. You're right. You don't owe me. But you're also now 68K in the hole again. Hey there. We're working hard to hit our first 1,000 subscribers. If you love true, emotional stories, hit that subscribe button. It helps more than you know. Now let's get into the story. It started with a dinner bill I wasn't supposed to see. We were at a quiet Italian place, her choice. She said she wanted a reset night, no phones, just pasta and real conversation. I should have seen that as the first warning sign. Mia wasn't the put your phone down type. The check came. She reached for it, dramatic and performative, like she was proving something. But when the waiter slid the receipt toward me, I noticed a charge from earlier that day, buried on the bottom corner. $460.74. It wasn't from that restaurant. It was from a high-end boutique 2 blocks away. Mia had told me she was just grabbing coffee before dinner. I didn't say anything right away. I was trying to play it cool, give her the benefit of the doubt. But something felt off. She smiled too easily. She laughed a little louder than usual. The whole night felt like a rehearsal for something. I wish I could say that was the moment I knew, but honestly, this story started long before that. Back when I met Mia, she was broke. I don't mean that in a shaming way. She was working 2 jobs, juggling night classes, trying to finish a marketing degree she'd been dragging through since she was 20. We were both in our mid-20s. I'd just gotten a full-time position as a systems analyst at a mid-sized firm. Steady paycheck, decent benefits, and a not-so-secret nerdy side hustle in crypto that had started to actually pay off. She was magnetic, chaotic in that way that pulls you in before you realize it's burning you. The first few months were magic. We split bills, cooked together, shared Spotify playlists. She'd crash on my couch after late shifts and whisper, I swear, once I graduate, everything gets better. I believed her. Fast forward 2 years. She still hadn't graduated. She'd switched majors twice. Had 3 different credit cards. Her car had been repossessed once, and I loaned her the money to get it back. But it never felt like charity. She never asked for handouts. Not directly, anyway. She was subtle. Guilt was her weapon of choice. I'm not asking for much. I just need a little breathing room. It's not like I'm buying luxury bags. I'm trying to survive. You're lucky you have stability. I just want a taste of that. And I wanted to give it to her. I did love her. I still don't know if I regret that part. Last spring, she broke down in the kitchen. Like, full panic mode. She was sitting on the floor, crying, holding a red envelope from a collection agency. I remember the number printed at the top like it was tattooed in my brain. $68,402.19. It wasn't just student loans. There were unpaid medical bills, a maxed-out card from an old Macy's account, and interest stacking like it was trying to kill her. She didn't ask me to pay it. Not directly. But she didn't have to. She kept saying things like, I don't need you to fix it. I just need someone who believes I can. If I could just clear my head, I could finally be the version of myself that deserves you. This debt is a chain. It's strangling me. And so I did it. I liquidated half of my crypto, sold one of my early index funds, and wrote 3 separate checks over 2 weeks. I thought I was saving her. That I was giving us a chance to finally build something real, without the cloud of her past hanging over every decision. And at first it worked. She was lighter, more affectionate, grateful even, for maybe 3 weeks. But then came the boutique receipt. Then came the sudden friend group I had never met. Then came the caption she posted on Instagram a week later, under a photo of her at a rooftop bar with people I didn't recognize. Debt-free, stress-free, and finally choosing me. It got 212 likes. One of the comments read, he was just a stepping stone anyway. I couldn't sleep after that. I lay awake wondering if I was paranoid, or if I had just been used. And somewhere deep down, I already knew. Because when I tried to talk to her about the boutique charge, she didn't even blink. She just said, you said you wanted me to breathe, right? And right then, I realized what I had really done. I hadn't saved her. I'd sponsored her escape. There's a strange moment that happens when you realize someone you love isn't who you thought they were. Not because they lied, but because they stopped pretending. That's what it felt like with Mia. After I paid off her debt, she didn't say thank you more than once. That should have meant something. Not because I wanted a parade, but because the silence was calculated, strategic. She used to be someone who'd leave little sticky notes on the fridge with, I'm proud of you, or thanks for holding it down. She used to blush when I covered dinner. That girl vanished. 2 weeks after she became debt-free, she came home with new nails. Bright red, glossy, sharp. Not cheap. I noticed the change, obviously. But what caught me more than the nails was the attitude. She didn't mention them at all. No, do you like them? No playfully holding her hand up to show me. Just walked past me on the way to the bedroom, scrolled her phone, and mumbled, "We're out of oat milk." 3 days later, she got hair extensions. Then came the new clothes, the gym membership, the self-care Saturdays. Every time I asked how she was affording all this, she said, "I'm budgeting better now." And maybe she was. But she wasn't budgeting with me anymore. We used to plan everything together. Grocery runs, weekend getaways, even stupid stuff like Spotify Premium versus Family Plan. Suddenly, she had an entirely new life I wasn't invited to. I started noticing other things. Her phone, always face down. Text notifications turned off. Sudden laughter during calls with Justine, followed by 10-minute silences whenever I walked in. And then the gym guy? I didn't even know he existed until she mentioned him twice in a week. Oh, Tanner at the gym showed me how to fix my squat form. Super helpful. Tanner said lemon water before cardio works wonders. It wasn't what she said. It was how casually she said it, like she wanted me to notice. And she started spending more time there. What used to be 45-minute workouts turned into 2-hour sweat resets. She stopped asking if I wanted to come along. At first, I told myself not to be that guy. Not the jealous boyfriend. Not the insecure stereotype. But the thing is, you can feel when someone's walking away from you. And she wasn't even trying to hide it. One night, I heard her talking on the phone through the bathroom door. She was laughing. Relaxed. Too relaxed. I stepped closer and heard. "No, he's not toxic or anything. Just boring now. But he's got stability, and I needed that for a while, right?" A pause. Then she added, with a chuckle, "Anyway, once I'm all the way up, I'm not dragging anyone with me." She flushed the toilet to cover it, but I'd already backed into the hallway. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, she made me breakfast. French toast, strawberries. Wore my hoodie. I played along. Because when someone shows you who they are, the last thing you should do is interrupt them. That day, I went into our joint account. Nothing major stood out. Not yet. But I saw the pattern. Withdrawals that weren't for groceries, Uber Eats at places she never mentioned, a $112 charge to a spa I'd never heard of. She didn't owe me a thank you. I knew that. But she didn't owe me this, either. And deep down, I knew it wasn't about the money. It was about watching someone transform into the version of themselves they always wanted to be, and realizing that version had no place for you. I thought paying off her debt would bring us closer. All it really did was buy her an exit. I wasn't looking for proof. I already knew something was wrong. But what I found that night wasn't just a red flag. It was the blueprint to how stupid I'd been. It started with her laptop. Mia was in the shower. Her MacBook was open on the counter, still logged into iMessage. I wasn't snooping. Not really. I walked in to grab her towel, and there it was. A group chat called Glow Up Girls Nail Polish. Not gonna lie, I paused. You see a chat like that, you expect skincare tips, maybe a boyfriend rant or two. But what I read, it felt like watching someone spit in your face through text. One of her friends had messaged, "Dude, you won the lottery. That man would literally pay your rent if you asked him right." Another replied, "And he's low-key kinda cute? Like tech bro handsome." That's when Mia chimed in. "He's not the problem. He's just not my future." Another message popped up seconds later, like the universe was putting on a play just for me. "Girl, please. You don't owe him your best years just because he played hero." And Mia replied, "Exactly. I read that word 3 times. Then again. Then once more just to be sure I wasn't misreading it." Exactly. That wasn't a moment of frustration. That wasn't her venting after a fight. That was her saying yes to the idea that I was disposable. You have to understand, I had never asked her for anything. Not for money. Not for favors. Not even for emotional validation. I paid off nearly $70,000 of her mess without asking for a promise, a ring, or even a plan. All I ever wanted was for us to build a life together without the weight of her past holding her down. But here she was, sipping drinks with her friends, calling me a phase. That was the moment something inside me turned. Not rage. Not sadness. It was colder than that. I closed the laptop, sat on the couch, waited. When she came out, towel around her head, she smiled like nothing was wrong. Climbed into my lap like she used to. I kissed her forehead. "I'm gonna head out for a bit," I said. "Just need some air." She didn't ask where. Didn't even look up from her phone. I walked out of our apartment and sat in the car for 2 straight hours, watching traffic lights change with no destination. Then I opened my phone and called my banker. That night was the end of us. She just didn't know it yet. Because if I was just a stepping stone, she was about to learn what it feels like to walk barefoot. The best revenge isn't loud. It's administrative. By morning, she was still asleep. She liked to sleep in on Sundays, something about needing to recharge her feminine energy. I let her, while she was tangled in sheets I'd bought, in the apartment I'd furnished, using Wi-Fi I paid for. I started clearing the chessboard. Step 1, the bank. I had already spoken to my advisor the night before, so all I had to do was log in and confirm the changes. The joint account? Frozen. Not closed. That would have tipped her off. Just frozen. No withdrawals. No payments. No bounce notifications. Just quiet denial at checkout. Her card would decline with a cheerful little beep the next time she tried to swipe it at her juice bar or Pilates class. I smiled at the thought. Step 2. The car. It was legally mine. Bought in my name. I had added her as a secondary driver last year after she claimed Uber was killing her soul. I went to the DMV website and submitted a removal of authorization. One digital form. 5 minutes. She wouldn't be able to legally drive it anymore, and I'd be alerted if she tried to transfer ownership. Step 3. The smart locks. We lived in a one-bedroom apartment I'd leased long before she moved in. She had never bothered to put her name on anything. The lock was app-controlled. I opened it up, deleted her access, and reset the passcode. Done. She was still sleeping. Step 4. Her phone plan. This one, almost too easy. She was on my family plan. One of those setups where I paid the full bill and she Venmo'd me occasionally. I logged into the mobile provider account and scheduled a line suspension for 9 a.m. By the time she woke up and tried to refresh Instagram, it would say no service. I went to the kitchen, made coffee, and wrote a single note. No dramatics. No monologue. Just the truth. You're right. You don't owe me. But you're also now $68,000 in the hole again. I left the note on her nightstand. Right next to the empty MacBook charger she always complained about losing. By the time she opened her eyes, I was halfway to my friend Nate's place across town. I didn't answer her texts. I didn't check the call logs. But I know what happened. Because at 9:17 a.m., I got an email notification. Unusual activity detected on joint account. Attempted charge declined, $128.75, Lulu's Boutique. And right after that, PIN failed on Smart Lock, 3 incorrect attempts. I turned off notifications after that, because this wasn't about watching her fall apart. It was about making sure she knew I wasn't going to clean up after her again. She'd chosen freedom. I just made sure she got to pay for it. When people lose comfort, they reveal character. Mia? She folded in less than 24 hours. I figured she'd try to spin it. Make me the villain. Say I blindsided her, or ghosted her, or that I emotionally abused her by taking away what she thought she deserved. What I didn't expect was the voicemails. 9 of them. The first was calm, confused even. Hey babe. Super weird. But my card got declined this morning. Maybe something's wrong with the app? Call me when you see this. The second had less patience. Seriously? My phone just shut off mid-call. What the hell is going on? By voicemail 6? Are you trying to scare me? Because it's working. I didn't reply. Not to her calls. Not to her texts. Not to the DMs she sent from her backup Instagram account. She tried calling from her mom's number. I let it ring. Then came the panic pivot. Victim mode. She sent a long email at 2:13 a.m. Subject line. We need to talk. You can't just erase me. In the body of the email, she wrote, I never asked you to pay my debt. You did that to feel needed. And now you're punishing me because I outgrew you? That's manipulative. She ended it with, you're not a hero. You're a narcissist with a spreadsheet. That line stuck with me, because the only thing I'd calculated was her exit. 2 days went by. Radio silence from my end. Then I got a call from someone I hadn't heard from in almost a year. Justine. Her old roommate. We'd never been close, but I always liked her. She was grounded. The opposite of Mia in almost every way. Hey, she said. I don't want to get in the middle of whatever this is, but you should know she's telling people you got violent. I froze. She said you smashed her phone and locked her out of the apartment. She told everyone at her yoga studio that she had to run for her life. I let that sink in. Then Justine said, carefully, I didn't believe her. And I'm not the only one. She sent me screenshots, messages, group texts from Mia's friends, the same ones from the Glow Up Girls nail polish chat. They were turning on her. One message read, she told me she paid off her debt herself? El Mio, she really tried it. Another, if he really left, it's prob BC of Tanner LOL. She's been sneaking out to see him for months. Tanner, of course, the gym guy. And then came the final confirmation. A selfie taken at 11:45 p.m., time-stamped and location tagged. Mia, in his apartment, wearing my hoodie. That was 2 weeks before the night she cried in the kitchen about being strangled by debt. I stared at that photo for a long time. Not out of heartbreak. Not even anger. It just clarified something I hadn't been ready to admit. She never needed saving. She needed sponsorship. And I'd been the idiot holding the checkbook. Her lies did the job for me. Once her friends started putting the pieces together, the group chat messages, the Tanner stuff, the way she glamorized being debt-free without ever explaining how, the story fell apart fast. By the end of the week, her Instagram was gone. Not deactivated, deleted. I heard through the grapevine that she tried to rebrand. Claimed she was taking a digital break to reconnect with her inner self. What she was actually doing was calling her mom for a place to stay. And she got one, a couch. I didn't speak to her. I didn't see her. But I did get an email from her mother. I don't know what happened between you two, but Mia's not okay right now. If there's anything you can do to help. I didn't answer. Because the only person who had ever helped Mia was me. And I'm not sure she even remembered that. A few weeks later, I got an envelope in the mail. Inside, a letter. Handwritten. From her. 3 pages long. The first page was self-pity. I was spiraling. I didn't know how to accept love without feeling trapped. I didn't think you'd really walk away. The second page tried bargaining. Maybe we could talk, just once. I don't want things to end like this. The last page? Even if you never forgive me, I'll never forget what you did for me. Thank you for everything. No apology. No ownership. Just guilt, gift-wrapped in nostalgia. I folded it in half, dropped it in a drawer, and haven't looked at it since. As for me, I moved out a month later. Nate and I split a 2-bedroom near downtown. I got promoted, restabilized, and, most importantly, rebuilt my savings. I still think about that moment sometimes. The way she looked, curled up in my hoodie, pretending nothing was wrong. The night, I'd already decided to burn it all down. You know what the most painful part was? Not that she used me. Not that she lied. It's that she really believed I'd never stop giving. But I did. Because she wanted freedom. And now, she has every piece of it. Along with the debt, the consequences, and the silence that followed. And that's the story. If you're still here, that means you're one of us. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. I drop new chaos every single day. And trust me, tomorrow's story, it's even worse than this one.